Stacking Cash, the college football gambling part of Unnecessary Roughness. I feel like I got to do that. I feel like I got to say that because some of you are like, Stacking Cash is his own show. No, this is, we do it on the Unnecessary Roughness feed. Jack's the Unnecessary Roughness producer. Big Ev is the weekly guest. And we also have Ben Mintz, who's not here this week. He is out.
Also didn't send his picks.
So it's.
I mean, it would be tough to give picks for a draft. We'd just be like giving him the first
That
5 picks.
That is true.
He's just going to have the last 5 picks.
Yes.
So just contact him afterwards. Okay. So we all take 5 picks, and it's done draft style. It's also done T-box style. Whoever did the best last week has the T-box and gets to go first. For the 4th week in a row, I will go first. I was 3-2 on the show last week. My real-life picks don't do nearly as well as my picks on this show. And you have the opposite, right?
My real-life picks do much better. I'm positive units in college football, but I go 2-3 on the show every week.
Yeah.
That's changing this week.
I end up going like 8-8.
This week, we win.
This week,
I win.
Tonight, we ride. Tonight, we dine in hell. Okay. I will lead us off. 5 picks. Can be spread, can be money line, can be whatever. I'm going to start in the Southeastern Conference, and I'm going to take 2 teams who were exposed last week by much, much, much better teams. But this week they meet, and they meet in somebody's home. They meet in Oxford, Mississippi, and one of these teams can score, and one can't. And I feel like Ole Miss is more real than Arkansas. Ole Miss -6 against Arkansas. KJ Jefferson is not a good quarterback. I don't see how they're going to score very many points to keep up with Matt Corral, who will have a bounce-back game. Ole Miss -6 against Arkansas is pick number 1 for me.
Ev
it's
goes
Ev?
next. Yep, because
I'll
he
go
won
first.
2 and 3.
All right. This pick, we just talked about it before we went on air.
Yeah.
And I know you're not going to take it, and I don't care. I'm taking it first because I love this pick. They're a 3.5-point dog at home in the Big Ten. They're going to win this game outright. It is Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska, on Saturday, you heard it here first, is going to beat Michigan. Michigan is the most overrated team in college football right now. They have beaten nobody.
Outside of maybe Michigan State, I think they're also overrated.
Yes, them too. Michigan was in an absolute war with Rutgers. And listen, it's chop on over here. Love my guys. My mom grew up in Piscataway. But Nebraska might be one of the most underrated teams in college football.
5-1 against the spread, Big F.
They should have beaten Michigan State. Week 1 in a standalone game, they looked terrible. And it really wasn't even that they looked terrible. They shot themselves in the foot.
Yep.
Bad mistakes. They're not nearly as bad of a football team as maybe the nation thinks right now. And they're going to prove it this weekend. They're going to win the game outright. But for the sake of this show and this pick, I'm taking Nebraska +3.5.
All right, my first pick was Ole Miss. He has got Nebraska +3.5. And we come to Jack Mack.
I went 1 and 4 last week, which stunk. Mintzy went 0 and 5 though.
Oof, okay.
So at least I was in the worst. However, this week I'm starting it off down in Dallas, and it breaks my heart to take this, but I think it's going to correct itself, and I think it's going to happen. Oklahoma's going to take it to Texas. Oklahoma -3. We've seen Texas Tech have explosive plays against Texas's defense. Arkansas have explosive plays against Texas's defense.
Yeah.
I think Spencer Rattler kind of comes out of his shell a little bit this game, takes it to Texas, which stinks because I think Texas is really good. But I think this is just Oklahoma's game, and they're going to kind of remind us, like Ohio State has the past few weeks, that, no, this is a team that we're going to have to consider in terms of, like, no, they will be in the playoff discussion. So Oklahoma -3 is my first pick.
All right, for my second pick, I have to lead off with a question. Big Ev, how old are you?
I'm 27.
Jack, how old are you?
24.
You're 24 years old. Neither of you. I think what we have this year in 2021 is the worst Boise State team of both of your lives. I can't remember the last time Boise State was a bad football team, and they're a bad football team. They are going on the road to BYU, who's number 10 in the country, and all they got, BYU's given up 6 points. 6. Boise State's not good. I love BYU to hammer them because, listen, last year, you remember that game? They went up there. It was a big game. If BYU gets through Boise, they're real. They won like 51-13
Yeah, it was
or
like
something
on Friday
like that.
night.
Killed them. I think they do the same here. BYU -6 against Boise is pick number 2. Big F.
I'm going to stay in the Big Ten, Brandon.
Are you?
I'm going to expose another fraud team.
Are you going after the same state?
I am.
Okay.
I'm just going to do it. One of these teams is winning the football game. I'm taking Rutgers.
He's
I'm taking Rutgers
fucking chopping wood.
with 5.5. I'm chopping wood.
By the way,
because
Michigan
Michigan
State's
State-
trying to take
I know.
the chop.
I know. They're trying to steal
This is
it.
the
They're
game of the
frauds.
chop.
They are a counterfeit football team. Mel Tucker, listen, I'll give him credit what he's done with the transfer portal. They're obviously much better than they were last year. That still doesn't mean they're a top 15, maybe a top 20 football team. This line stinks out loud. because Rutgers is going to put up a dogfight in Piscataway tonight or on Saturday.
All right.
Rutgers plus 5.5.
Jack Mack.
All right, I'm going to stay in the Big Ten as well. I think Iowa is a bit overrated in our eyes. Last week, they took it to Maryland, but it felt like that game was a lot closer if you watched it. The final score was what, 44-10 or something?
I think it was,
51. I got the 50. Yeah, 51-17 maybe.
Something like that.
All right.
51 in the teens, I believe.
But I
14
do
maybe.
feel if there wasn't that fumble on the kickoff because of a freak injury, and Talia may have the goods, but he just makes so many mistakes. I think Sean Clifford may not be as his ceiling's not as high as Talia, but he will protect the ball. And I think the turnover luck not that it's all turnover luck because it's a lot of interceptions and whatnot, but I think it's going to kind of correct itself this weekend. Penn State will win this game. I'm going to take them plus the points, +2. I like Penn State. I think they got a lot of players on their team. The defense is nasty. And then on offense, I just feel they have more talented players on that offense than Iowa's offense, specifically Jahan Dotson. And Sean Clifford, it's not gonna rattle him. He's been in tough environments.
Yeah.
And this is his game to win. Get Penn State back into a discussion they haven't been in for a few years, I guess. And we'll see them win this game. Penn State +2.
All right, let's just go ahead and go through the whole Big Ten with my third pick. Let's go ahead and add another Big Ten team to the fire. And I have another question. In what world should Wisconsin be 10-point favorites over anybody at this point? Much less a team with a first-year coach who you assume is going to get better every week. Much less with a former Wisconsin coach on the other sideline. I got Illinois at home. That's not a sexy thing. I don't like that. But I'm playing the worst Wisconsin team in decades. I'm playing a team that can't score, they can't run, they can't throw, they can't block the way Wisconsin usually does all three of those things. I'm getting 10 points against that team. Give it to me. Illinois +10 is my third pick. Big F.
Fuck it. We're staying in the Big Ten.
My God, the whole conference.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do something I haven't done in the show yet.
Oh, okay. I see what he's doing.
I'm going to take my own team.
Yep.
I'm going to take Ohio State laying the 21. I think we have seen kind of the start of the progression of this football team. We got knocked in our asses. We're back up now. Listen, it's Rutgers. I'm not going to sit here and hold my hat on that, but the dominant performance that we put on them, I think this team has turned a new leaf. I think C.J. Stroud has got his confidence. I won't even say back because he was just starting, obviously, but I think his confidence is he's starting to come into his own. The defense is coming into its own. I think we lay the hammer on Maryland this weekend at home in Columbus, especially without Demas, who is an absolute stud. I still think I'm not going to say, I think Talia might be seeing some demons out there a little shaken up from that Iowa performance. I think Ohio State Buckeyes lay the absolute hammer on Maryland on Saturday.
All right, Jack.
I'll just play off of F. I'm going to go not in the Big Ten. I'm going to go a little bit. We're still going to be north, but we're going to Massachusetts. And in the Cum Bowl, I think UMass is what we thought UConn was. UMass has been getting blown out left and right. They played okay against BC, but that was when they almost when BC lost Jerkovic. UConn down to their quarterback, but UConn's been every game they've played since we've been clowning on them. Vanderbilt on the road in the rain. That's a tough environment for a bad team.
Yeah.
And UConn stayed tough. They want to win. This team could have quit. They could have got blown out by Vandy. They could have got blown out by Wyoming. They could have got blown out by not Holy Cross, but they kind of did get blown out by Holy Cross. But this is where they get the win. In the Cum Bowl, UConn -3.5. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. And it's going to be a glorious day. The victory's coming. It's coming in the Cum Bowl. UConn -3.5. Get it now and get it quick because there's going to be a lot of coming in that game.
Just relax, Jack. Oh, Jesus. I've spent too much time in the Big Ten, so to lead off the fourth round, I come home. I go back down south, and guess who else is coming home? After leading his team to the first victory in Baton Rouge since 1999, Bo Nix, who was benched 2 weeks ago, reclaimed his job, went on the road, got a huge win. Now he comes home, and he gets to take on the number 2 team in the country with one of the best defenses. And is this a Cinderella story for Bo Nix? Fuck no. Absolutely not. This is a different animal. Bo Nix is a bad quarterback. Auburn's a bad offense. You can get away with that against an Ed Orgeron coach team. You ain't doing that against the most talented team in the country with the best defense we've seen in the last 10 years. Georgia is going to Auburn and dragging their nuts and dick all up and down Jordan-Hare Field, Jordan-Hare Stadium, whatever they call it. Georgia minus 15.5 against Auburn. Big Ev.
Brandon,
Yes, it's Brandon.
I'm feeling free today. You know what that means? I'm feeling independent.
Oh, boy. I think I know where you're going.
We're going with the Liberty Flames.
Yes.
The Liberty Flames
Yes, Queen.
laying 19.5 against Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State is one of the worst offenses all of college football.
They're bad.
They can't move the ball. They definitely can't run the ball. They stink. Liberty, what a coincidence. They have one of the best defenses in college football, one of the best against the run in the past, scoring overall. I don't have the stat on me. I forget it. I'm sorry. But it was Liberty. I know it's laying 14 or more. They've been unbelievable in these spots, laying these big numbers. I'm laying the 19.5. I love Liberty this weekend.
Jack. Jack-o'-lantern. Jackalope.
Jacktown.
Jacktown.
I still believe in Michigan,
Ooh.
and I think they're going
The
to
first counter pick of the week.
Yes, and Nebraska has a disgustingly bad offensive line, and that defensive line of Michigan's going to eat up Nebraska's offensive line all day, specifically Aiden Hutchinson. He's going to find himself in the backfield. Adrian Martinez is mobile, but it's going to be a long day for him back there. I think Michigan does what they did last week, goes on the road against, I think we know Wisconsin is as good as we thought they were, but they're not the worst team ever. It's still an environment on the road. You have to go in and you have to play tough. I think they're going to do that again. They're going to do it against Nebraska. They'll win by 7 to 10 points. Michigan minus 3.5.
Before I give my last pick, I want to offer caution and tell you a pick where my spidey senses are tingling, and a pick that it seems like I should make, I won't make.
I think I know where it is.
It's in Lexington, Kentucky. And I have been Mr. Kentucky all year. I've been Mr. Anti-LSU all year, and I've read both these teams like a book. This doesn't smell right. This doesn't feel right. Kentucky's a little too sure of themselves. Everything is smelling a little too good up there, and LSU's only catching 3.5 on the road. LSU, which blew every scoring opportunity they had against Auburn. They should have won that game by 2 touchdowns. They didn't. I just am not going to pick Kentucky, so infer from that whatever you want. What I will pick is in the state of Kentucky. And I'll pick a 1-3 team hosting a 5-0 team. A 5-0 team that hasn't won over a Big Ten team this year. UTSA is 5-0. They're on the road, and they are 3.5-point favorites against Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky who can throw the ball around the yard, who can score. And at home, desperate, give me Western Kentucky minus 3.5 against UTSA. That is my 5th pick. Big Ev.
Brent, I'm going to stay in the same game.
You coming across my face?
Yep. Nope. Actually, I'm not.
Oh, you're using my passing offense to help you. We're going up top.
Taking the over, Brandon.
That's
over 69.5. The over is undefeated Western Kentucky games this year. And UTSA's got a damn good offense. They are definitely going to be able to score in Western Kentucky. No doubt about it in my mind. I like Western Kentucky as a side. On this show, I am taking the over. I love the over. It is 69.5. Both the teams are going to be able to score a ton of points. I like the over.
And round us out, Jack.
All right. I am going to go down south in Texas.
Yep.
College Station.
Yep.
I'm going to take the over 51.
Like, I don't hate it.
I do hate it.
Oh.
You might not get a point from Texas A&M.
I
might
don't
only
know.
need- you might only
I
need
feel like
7.
I
think
I need
10 gets you there.
I think 10 to 14 points. I think so. Bama's defense is not awful. Don't get me wrong, but I think Bama scores at will.
Yeah.
We've seen it time and time again, and I think they're going to do that to Texas A&M. And I think I respect the market enough in the number, the spread at 18, that I think I'm going to get 31 from Bama at least.
Yeah.
And that says that, okay, so then the market's saying that if you get 31, 38, you only need, 20
To 13.
13 points to get there. I think even if it's in garbage time, I think that number is a bit low. I think it should be more in the 58 range. Give me Texas A&M, Alabama over 51 to round out the. Sorry, just got distracted by that. Over 51 to round out my card, and that'll be it for me. I am 5-10. You are 10-4.
Mm-hmm.
Ev, you are.
Why am I 10-4?
So
Yeah, it's
10-5.
impossible.
You're 10-5 because
Yeah.
you were 7-3 last week.
Yeah.
And then Ev, you
6-9.
are 6-9. That is correct. And Mintzy
Positive
is
units
5-10.
on the season.
Oh man. Well, whew.
Positive units on the season.
Okay, so I don't need to recap the picks, do I? I mean, you're going to do a graphic anyway, so
We'll have the graphic out. And yeah, that's all for today.
good luck, boys.
Good luck
It's
to
going to
you
be a
too.
war out there. I stacking cash.